Good morning to everyone out there. A beautiful morning to you guys and everyone out there, all our viewers. I welcome you to another edition of Newspaper Review. Today we'll be taking you all through the stories across the national news on our newspaper today. The first, I think today I have here with me the Vanguard newspaper, the Guardians, then the Daily Independent, Blueprint, these days, and the Punch. But today we'll be starting by looking at the headlines on the newspaper across the country. The first one we'll be taking a look at is the Punch newspaper. And then the headlines on the Punch newspaper said, NNPCL bars independent marketers amid surging prices. It comes with the following radars. The PMS vessels arrive, transport fares jump as major marketers raise fuel price. Now let me read the headlines on the Nigerian Tribune as well before taking it one after the other. The NBA, NASIMA, LCIA, MAN, PDP fought petrol price hike. Then the headline on the Daily Trust goes thus: petrol price hike, transport fares surge 50% nationwide. And then we move to what? To the headlines on the Blueprint, which says, not afraid of constitution review, restructuring, ACF. And then the headlines on the Daily Independent says, NEC revs up process gives for states September 9 to submit report. Now let's take it one after the other. But before we go, I have in here with me at the studio an analyst who will be making justice to the stories on our newspaper headlines. I have in here with me Barrister Adeleke. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, Nigerians.
All right, you are welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Let's start by taking a look at the Vanguard newspaper. The Vanguard newspaper, the headlines on the newspaper said, petrol price hike is about the hike in the petrol price. NASIMA, LCCI, NCEA worry over jobs, economy. Sir, what's your take on this?
Well, it's very unfortunate, and it will have a far-reaching effects on so many areas. If care is not taken, it may lead to loss of jobs because the cost of production, maintenance, payment of salaries will also be affected. The workers may even be asking for increments, both in the private, particularly in the private sector, and investment too may also be affected because the investor will look at the market stability of their products in that country, Nigeria. So that is why we are calling on the federal government, Mr. President, on his arrival. The first duty to do now is to ensure that there is abundant supply of petroleum to the masses, PMS. And the Dangote that has started producing now is to ensure that it's selling at a very reduced price because they are negotiating now on the actual amount to be selling to the Nigerian people. Because having sold to him in Naira, the cooler, it should also sell back to Nigeria at a very reduced price.
Considerable price.
And at the same time, our refineries should be privatized. That's the reality. They should look for the foreign investors, open with the local interested investors for now to take over these refineries. Because I personally, I don't see how the government can maintain it. Even if they work for some time, they may still go back to comatose. So the reality is that it's purely a business. Petroleum is a purely business affair, and government should take that into consideration. They have spent a lot of money on the refineries, but you cannot justify the amount they have spent on these refineries.
Well, sir, they are spending the money. I think the result, the people are not seeing the result on the refineries. Imagine the, what's it called, the amount that was allocated to redoing the last tenure, that is the administration of the.
Even before the last tenure, since the day of Obasanjo, they have been spending money on budgeting money for the revamping of that, but that have not been revamped. And the workers there, they are being paid. No, none of them have been relieved without doing anything. So, commonsensically,
They are just being paid.
if we were to be private money or fund, how can a private person be spending money like that? So, public money, so many probe on the issue of petroleum sector, nothing come out the probe. So the best thing is to hand it over or to concession it. If they don't want to actually sell it, they can concession it. It's a form of lease
This.
to the interested investors, so that the government can have maybe something like 30% in that, and the remaining 70% by the lessee. Government doing the lease, so they concession it to the private sector.
Well, I think the NNPC, according to what they said they are going to what they are not going for ISB that this time. They are going for, that is the person an investor that will take care of this refineries, not that they just do it
Sell it.
anyhow.
Yes, they have been saying that for long, but what have they been able to achieve? Even NNPCL now, they call it a public liability company. But we don't know the amount of money they have made. They are still in debt now.
In debt.
We don't know the number of shareholders. So a truly public liability company must have a record, transparency. Who are the owners? Who are the shareholders? How much profit have they made? How much losses have they made? Are they rendering their accounts to the National Assembly on an annual general basis, as stipulated by the company law?
No, the
So
thing.
we don't know the nature of Nigerian NFS, whether it's privately owned or publicly owned. So that is the more reason why these refineries should be considered to the investors who are ready and willing to invest.
All right, thank you for that, sir. Now let's take a look at the radars that comes with these headlines on the Vanguard newspaper. The radar says China's to help Nigerian fight money laundering, terrorism, financing. Nigeria, China move to revive local currency swap. What do you see from this side?
Nobody can help us to fight terrorism, corruption, money laundering. The country itself must be ready. There must be political will on the part of the political elite. It's another thing to enter into partnership. It's another thing for you to be doing another thing entirely. As government. If you see some people are sacred crowd, you don't arrest them, you don't investigate them. So all the efforts being made by any partner will not yield any fruit. So the government must have it as their cardinal policy that I want to stamp out corruption, and they should live by
example.
And they should start from themselves. Any corrupt politician, apart from being exposed, they should be prosecuted and jailed. If some people have made a sample, at least if you cannot go to the level of death penalty for now, the already law we have, let us implement the already laws we have. If it is jail time of 10 years, 20 years, certain them, recovering the money from them is not enough. Plea bargaining, returning part of the money and spending the rest is not morally justifiable. Because the youth will think that they be just to release a part of the money, be spending the money. So they are engaging in corruption. But if the country is so seriousness that we see this as the serious canker one, the first problem we have is corruption. Then the partners won't be ready. Because the partners themselves, these people, they don't want their name to be soiled. It's one of the things they will sign with them. If they see that you are not serious, they will pull out.
That's it, exactly. For you not to tarnish their image. That's good. All right, thank you for that, sir. Let's take a look at this as well. Shetima inaugurates $150 million upgraded West African container terminal. So what's your take on this?
Yes, to build the economic in that sector, in that area. You know, all the terminal, we all know it's all about all the marketing coming from the West African, from outside the country. Will be at that point. Get a lot of employment for the people and the revenue for the government of Nigeria. It's a good development that will even increase our annual general GDP because of medical products, and our national value and naira value will also be increase in terms of exportation of the products.
All right, let's take a look at this, which will be the last one we'll be looking at on the Vanguard newspaper. Power generation reverses gains dip by 45.4% to 2,753 megawatts. What can you say about this?
Apart from the increasing the megawatts, what of the amount of money people are paying for the services? It's still high. It's still high. The government should look into that, particularly the Minister of Power. To look at that, how are they going to make the electricity very cheap for Nigerians, particularly those who are in the rural areas. Some of them are still not having any light at all. So they should concentrate more so on the domestic use of light, not only on the industrial use. So because some people are also doing mini business, having their own machine at home to grind pepper, they are using light. So if you want to buy a petroleum now with later, how can the person make any profit? So, and if you increase the thing to maybe from 200 to 500, many people will patronize the person. So those are the areas we are saying that energy is the first and foremost area that boosts economy. There's no one that will not use energy. Even if you don't eat, you won't have any what they call carbohydrates, energy to prepare you to move. So not to talk of this electrical energy.
All right, thank you for that. Now we then move to Daily Independence. The headlines on the Daily Independence said the NEC refs up process gives 4 states September 9 to submit reports.
Yes. The 4 states are yet to submit, they will have their reason, and the federal government should also be careful about the state police. Our experience in the past has shown that the politicians normally misuse and abuse the state police officers to harass the opponent or their enemies. Notwithstanding, the situation we find ourselves now, we cannot escape the fact that we need to give the state governors powers, at least to have the kind of control over security. But the overall control will still be an pari passu with the federal government. The reason whereby it is alleged and proved that the state governor has abused his power, then the federal police officer side by side will take over the matter. They will come in. So that area, that clause will be there, and at the end of the day, it will be better off for all of us as Nigerians.
All right, thank you. Now, on the Daily Independent, we have the following readers. The first one here, it says, federal government releases 3 billion naira to states affected by flooding. What's your take on this?
Well, the only people here only have released the money. You don't know how they spend the money. Who are the people in charge? Who are the committee? Even the governors or the state that receive it, they will not mention it. In most cases, they will divert the money to another thing entirely. So the federal government should change their channel, the methodology. Not just waiting for when the calamity happens, but they should be proactive. Most of the flaws are human caused. Where you are not supposed to build a house, you still give you license approval. After and change hands. Those officers will be punished, except there is any extraordinary cause, like climate change caused by the industrial or the Western world. Now we don't have a regular rainfall now. People they don't know that it is as a result of these industrial activities. Releasing noxious gas into the air and affecting the ozone layers to the sky. So that's the reason why we have climate change, and that is more reason why our southwestern farmers, they should be innovative. They should not wait for this natural method of rain. They can copy their counterpart, the mechanized commercial farmer with drainage, irrigation. It's the way to go now. To boost, apparently when you are engaging in a large farming system, not this subsistence one, but those who are engaging in large farming, you have to do the irrigation, lay the pipe to your farm and to supply water to your crops.
All right, thank you for that. Now let's take a look at this one as well. They said, be great to inject $2.8 billion in Nigeria's healthcare agri sectors. What can you say about this?
Well,
you see there's development.
not going to be on just a Christmas appear. The gates, if they are investing, if they say they are injecting billions of dollars, it's investment. And
not,
that is
not only injecting.
indictment on the government itself that how are you taking care of your health sector? How are you taking care of your educational sector?
Agricultural sectors.
Your agricultural sector, your security. So those are the areas we expect government, the protester, the one that were hijacked August, they should have table before the government. Not people lost issue of releasing so in prison. So no, these are the condemning issues that our health sector have been lagging behind. Despite the fact that the government will be saying they are consulting road. Are you consulting road for the corpses or the dead? The primary area is the earth.
It's the earth.
If you are not ready, you cannot do anything.
And they say earth is wealth.
Yes. So the budget, we see from the budgets, even we had the grudgingly budget some money for health sector. Implementation is another thing. Hardly can we this thing get to 50% implementation. Those are the areas you need to look into. Not rely on the funding donors every time.
All right, thank you, sir. Let's take a look at this as well. I think this one is it's coming from the northerner people. They said not averse to constitutional review, ACF.
Even if they are passed, it will not be in their own interest. Because they are facing a lot of challenges more than any other region. Time of banditry, terrorism, and poverty within people. So the best thing is to allow every one of us to sit down to calibrate the Nigerian constitution. The presidency is doing this gradually. They are giving them power to generate their own electricity. They are giving them autonomy to local government. They are giving autonomy to the Houses of Assembly. They also give autonomy to the judiciary. Now they are going to the police. About 4 fundamental amendments have been made in the constitution, releasing powers to the subnationals. Now it's the time for the police and the others also will follow. It's going to be in their own interest. The issue of born to rule, you can only born to rule when you have a constitutionally arranged order for the society. If the order is not constitutionally arranged, there's no way you can perform. Resource control, you have your own minerals at your back of your house. Why can't they allow you to tap it so that you contribute to the center? So that will be the competition. When there is competition, then the society, everybody will know that we are going together.
All right, thank you, sir. Now let's take a look at this as well. I think this is coming from the opposition side. Petrol pump price increase a recipe for crisis PDP wants.
It is not just this type of crisis, but they should provide solution. When you are in opposition, you come out with a superior
Solution.
argument. Not just if there is a crisis today, whoever, there is no one that will not be affected. There is no one that will be exonerated.
Because we all live
No,
the same
we
way
are
in this country.
canopy. So instead of making that statement, is to come out with solutions to the government.
Not a blame game.
Not a blame game. Thank you.
All right, now let's take a look at this as well. Federal government committed to securing Northwest, Matawali assures Sokoto governor.
If you are securing Northwest, you are not securing Northeast, North Central.
Are they not part of Nigeria?
You secure the whole of Nigeria.
Not only
So because this is the technological age, these people will just be networking, the calibrating the activities. So the essence is to protect the sovereignty of Nigeria. So and whoever that is sponsoring them to be brought to work.
All right, thank you for that. Now let's move on to the Punch newspaper. The headlines on the Punch newspaper said the NNPCL bars independent marketers amid surging prices.
Yes, these independent marketers, I think they should also be allowed to get petroleum directly from Dangote. It should not be that the only monopolistic forces by the NNPC. NNPC will now be selling again to the. By the time you are doing that, the vendors will also have their own cost. But if they are able to get from the company directly, it will reduce these middlemen, so many middlemen, before it gets to the final consumer. And practically, it will reduce the cost. So independent marketers should be allowed to buy directly from Dangote refineries.
All right, thank you for that. Now let's take a look at the raiders on the newspaper, on the Punch newspaper. Neck fears poor harvest in flooding as flooding kills 205.
Yes, it's a perennial issue, but at the same time, if we are a country that have advanced in technology, they ought to have gotten solution to this flooding causing loss of money and lives. So you know the area that is mostly affected. It's just a matter of gardening experts sourcing for funds, and if we have to relocate some people, or if we have to demographicalize some area, give them another demography. That this area should be purely for the residents. This one will be for farming. Instead of modeling everything up
Together.
and you call yourself governance, you don't have the data, you don't have the record of number of people that are in a particular place. Even some of our leaders, they don't know that some people exist some part of Nigeria because they have never bothered to look at the history and the record of that area.
All right, thank you. Now let's take a look at this as well. I think this one is also about the state policing that is next to brainstorm on 32 states report.
Yeah, they said whether the remaining 4 states
they come up with their own report or not.
They are going ahead because this is democracy, and whatever the majority agrees upon will be forwarded to the National Assembly that will do the necessary amendment to our constitution. So, and apart from that, the governors that support it, they must be ready that this is a duty for them to pour in more money for security. The era of taking security quota and using anyhow is gone. Because by the time you employ maybe 10,000 or 20,000 police officers in your state, you are going to pay for them, and you must be able to fund them also with logistics.
All right, thank you. I think let's take a look at this as well. The PDP shift and Northwest Council meeting over Governor's week extension. I think it's about the
National Working Committee my members were supposed to meet yesterday, but maybe for certain reasons they think that they have to first and foremost meet in private
before coming out
publicly. The meeting will be very hot and very controversial. You cannot set up the Constitutional Committee at the same time setting up the Disciplinary Committee. So that would like say you are holding the rod, and at the same time you are giving your child the carrots. So if you don't take the carrot easily, I use the rod. So they should first make the conciliation. This will mean instead of saying I will retaliate, you put fire in your own state, I will do it. No, you don't manage crisis like that.
All right, now, sir, let's quickly take a look at this one. That is, we'll be rounding up after this one. The arms importation. Federal government declares emergency on honey ports.
That's only the honey ports, but there are so many other areas you also have declared emergencies. In terms of the border, our border is very porous because you cannot just import without the collaboration of certain
security agencies,
bad elements that will collect money. So many areas in security, you have to declare a state of emergency. How can people be kidnapped almost on daily basis? Although the security officers are also trying, the intelligence, the army, all this, they are trying. They have arrested so many, they have prosecuted so many. Still, these people are going on daily basis.
All right, thank you, sir. I think we have come to an end of today's edition of Newspaper Review. Thank you, Barrister Adeleke, for coming. All right, then meet us again tomorrow on this same edition of Newspaper Review. Do have a nice day. Good morning.